Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I am going to be essentially talking about the only brand known, and to my knowledge, of course, that simply has completely changed that narrative for me when it comes to having to buy an expensive power cord after buying what already is an expensive component. You guys ever wonder why that is? Why is it that these brands that are so much money don't just come out with a unit that either already includes an upgraded power cord or just simply make the product sound phenomenal with a stock power cord? Do you want to know my take on this? Stay tuned and find out. Welcome back, everybody. Please subscribe, hit that notification button so that you are informed each time I publish a new video. Over the last 2.5 years, I have embarked on owning some of the best electronics in the audio industry. Nobody is doing the things that I am doing. That is no secret by now. Absolutely no one on YouTube is showing you some of this incredible madness that you see right behind me. This has led me to do a tremendous amount of legwork when it comes to testing electronics, evaluating them, spending hours, hundreds of hours, sitting here in my room until 3 o'clock in the morning. As a matter of fact, I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning listening to the 3010 Boulder preamplifier and testing different power cords on it. And guys, this is essentially how this video was born. This idea to communicate to you all that I am quite disappointed at the ultra high end. And the reason for that is, oftentimes, more often than not, you're going to find that all of these ultra high end brands, for the most part, are not 100% ready to perform. And what I mean by that is this: you still have to embark on buying, right, ultra high end power cords. Here I have 3 of my favorite power cords, okay, that I have rotated in and out of my system. We have the $9,800 AudioQuest Dragon. We have the $7,500 Shunyata Omega QRS. And then, of course, the well-known by now Nordos Odin 1 power cord. I also have, of course, as you saw, the Opus transparent power cord, which right now I am essentially breaking in or letting the power cords settle in the system. Folks, you know, I still don't have a quite clear understanding why brands such as Dart Zeal, Pass Labs, Solution, and Griffin even don't really include aftermarket power cords with some of their expensive components. Recently, Griffin released the Apex, and in case you did not know, the Apex power amplifier is now being sold with an aftermarket power cord. So it comes with an aftermarket power cord. See, that is, to me, a step in the right direction. I think Griffin is finally reading the signs of the importance of including really good power chords with a power amplifier. Now, in the past, you guys know that I have owned the Griffin Mephisto stereo amplifier and Mephisto solos, which were phenomenal amplifiers. That said, the amplifier is far from ready when it comes to displaying its full capabilities and its maximum potential. I remember using stock power chords on the Mephisto stereo amplifier, and it sounded great, but nothing prepared me for what I was about to hear until I used AudioQuest Dragon or even Shunyata Omega power chords. Once you hear that amplifier with aftermarket power chords, it is impossible to go back and listen to that amplifier with stock power chords. The same goes for many other brands. Now, I know that Dan D'Agostino includes transparent power chords on some of their amplifiers, so that's a great move. I know they do not include the Opus because that will jack up the price, the MSRP on the amplifier, and I totally understand that. Now, I have had this conversation with some of you guys behind the scenes as to why some of these brands do not include crazy power chords in what is crazy expensive electronics. And some of the commentary, some of the feedback that I got was, number one, because it will jack up the price, the MSRP of the unit, which is already expensive. Number two, they say that it's better to leave the power chord of choice because people oftentimes want to be their own cook in the kitchen. They want to mix and match. They want to give the sound tonality or the sound characteristics of their liking by inserting their favorite power chords. Now, I have a problem with the 2 points that I just talked about. The entire narrative that it will jack up the MSRP price on what already is an expensive product. Yes, that's true, but guys, come on. You manufacturers know how to work out deals with cable brands, okay? No manufacturer is going to pay $7,500 for this MSRP. So I don't believe in this entire argument of it will jack up the price significantly. It won't jack up the price significantly, okay? Because, again, deals are worked out between the manufacturers so that doesn't really happen. Now, point number two, which is, guess what? I don't want the brand to include a power chord that I'm not interested in owning because I may not like the sound of that particular power chord. Okay, so let me get this straight. Those of you who have that argument. So what you're saying is you are going to pay $142,000 for this, $142,000 for that, and $70,000 for this preamplifier here. And you want to be your own cook in the kitchen. Okay, so what you're saying is you embarked on spending over $200,000, $300,000 here, and you completely disregarded Boulder's effort. You decided to say, I don't like what you do, Boulder. I don't like the way you sound, so I'm going to use my own power chords to tune the equipment to my liking. What kind of sense does that even make? What kind of sense does that even make? Tell me, what sense does that even make? It makes absolutely no sense to me, okay? Because for me, gear like Boulder, which is what I have in front of me, is gear that you can go ahead and sell all of this, basically. Okay, you can get rid of these, completely throw them out, completely dump them. You do not need aftermarket power chords for this level of electronics. Boulder has done the unthinkable. Boulder is the only brand that I have ever heard, ever, that doesn't need expensive power chords to sound phenomenal. As a matter of fact, the entire reason behind this video is to let you know that for the first time ever since I've been doing this, I finally found a product, ultra high-end brand, that sounds, in my opinion, better with stock power cords than it does with aftermarket power cords. Guys, I have been playing with my system until 3 in the morning, okay? And I have been trying different power cords with the 3010. And guess what? The 3010 with a stock power cord, in my opinion, sounds far superior than using any of these 3 power cords. And the same goes for the 3060. To me, what Boulder is doing is exactly what I think the ultra high-end should be doing. And that is to build a world-class product that doesn't need crazy expensive power cords to sound its best. That is, to me, absolutely one of a kind. I have never met any ultra high-end brand that does not improve with a better power cord. The exception being Boulder. And I want to commend Boulder for doing what I thought was impossible to do. And at the same time, I want to call out all these ultra high-end brands so they can rip a page out of Boulder's book and begin to do what Boulder is doing. Because what Boulder is doing is something that the rest of the world isn't doing. Having such a revealing system like what I have right now, what you're seeing on your screen right now, okay, all these components, including the magical S7, is one of the greatest things any audiophile can do for themselves, because of the fact that all this entire snake oil, all the lies, all the things that we are fed through YouTube, through forums, through different platforms will be exposed. If it's a lie and it doesn't work, believe me, a system of this caliber will let you know. This is why I said on my earlier video that I don't believe Ethernet cables are worth the money, because I'm doing it with a system of this caliber. So, to me, the importance of an Ethernet cable in a system is at the bottom of the list. It's like when you have absolutely nothing to do with $2,000 to $3,000 and it's just laying around on the table collecting dust, so you might as well use it. That's what you do with the last bit of money. When you have nothing else, you are just bored, you have nothing else to buy, you go ahead and buy an Ethernet cable, okay? I wouldn't embark on that. I've done it, and I do have an aftermarket Ethernet cable just because it's a mental mind game at this point. My OCD tells me, insert an aftermarket Ethernet cable because you've done everything else. But is there a real wow, oh my God, sonic improvement? No. So, guys, I want to make sure that you understand what this video is about. And this video is about that, and which is the fact that top-end brands like Boulder, in my opinion, should all be doing the same thing, which is to give us a phenomenal presentation with stock power cords, and still making us understand that the system needs nothing else. It needs no more expensive cabling to blow our mind. I wish that manufacturers watched this video and understood what I'm trying to say. I wish that they understood that enough is enough. I think we all need to come finally to the realization that, it's not cool to keep digging in people's pocket and pulling money out of people's wallets and continuing to essentially hustle us, for lack of a better word, by making us buy an expensive product. And on top of that, now we need to buy crazy power cords to make it sound their best. That's, to me, what doesn't make sense. I mean, I understand that they cannot include speaker cables, right? I understand that they cannot include interconnects. I get that. But a power cord is something that all components come with. And if you're telling me that your power cord is only sounding half-assed, for lack of a better word, because you just decided not to include a power cord to make it sound its best. I got a problem with that. I got a huge problem with that. And mind you, I have the funds to buy aftermarket power cords. So it's coming from somebody who is not necessarily with an unlimited budget, but even me, I complain about this craziness that you're presenting us with components that only sound mind-boggling when you invest on what should already be in the box. A great power cord, a great aftermarket power cord. And if you cannot include a great aftermarket power cord, it better be sounding like Boulder does, which is phenomenal with a cheap Amazon power cord. Yes, my Boulder 3010 preamplifier has told me, get rid of this, get this garbage off of me. I don't need any of this. This is unnecessary. I don't need any of it. Give me a stock power cord, feed me some power. I got it from here. I'll take it from here. I'll do the work from here. Connect me to your bathroom outlet if you want. Put an extension cord, a cheap orange extension cord all the way to your bathroom. All I need is power. Let me see some power. I will blow your mind from there. And to me, that is just a powerful statement. Every time I sit here and I listen to this gear, it just puts it all into perspective. Wow, I actually want to put expensive power cords on it because I got them laying around. I got them in here. I don't want them. I really do not want these power cords to remain unused. I want to use them. And I want the product to sound better. But the fact that the system keeps telling me, no, it doesn't sound better with it, because now you're hearing the system tuned. Now you got too much detail. Now you got too much bass, which basically blurs out the rest of the frequency range. Now you have a soundstage that sounds bloated. So you got all these issues that you begin to detect when you compare to the factory power cord that is included in the system. See, this is how I know what these cables are adding to the mix, how they're tuning the presentation, because the system sounds phenomenal with a stock power cord. You don't need to embark on buying expensive things here. In closing, if you are an ultra high-end brand, you owe it to yourself to give us components that sound phenomenal without the need of expensive power cords. Because at some point, this has to stop. Has to stop. This is not a rant. This is a real video from a person who lives with this day in, day out. I do the legwork. I do the grinding. I do everything here to come back to my YouTube audience and inform them of some of the biggest pain points that I have. And right now, one of the biggest points that I have is the fact that we have to continue to buy expensive power cords for systems that shouldn't really need it. Which, by the way, this is one of the reasons why I became a dealer for the STROMTANK from Germany. Because I have been sick and tired of having to embark on buying a lot of these very expensive power cords all the time. So yes, if you have a STROMTANK, I believe that you don't really need to spend a ton of money on expensive power cords. You can literally plug in your electronics, your preamp, your DAC, your music server, your router. You can plug all that stuff in to the STROMTANK S1000 that you see here. Okay, because it can definitely clean up a lot of the noise, a lot of the interference that we hear, and make things sound much more clearer. Okay, so this is why I took on the line. This is why I decided to represent STROMTANK, because it was getting out of hand with all these power cords that we constantly need to buy. And mind you, every time you change a component, you have to start changing power cords too, because now that next component that you bought may not necessarily like the power cord that you have on hand. So you have to be constantly rotating power cords, spending all this money. The madness needed to stop for me. So when I brought the STROMTANK to evaluate it for a few months before I took on the line, that's when I realized Yeah, if you use an aftermarket power cord on the device itself and plug that component into the STROMTANK, yes, there's going to be some benefits to that depending on which power cord you use, because I've tried different power cords, and the sonic benefits were definitely there, but I feel like you don't need to. I feel like it sounds phenomenal with a stock power cord plugged into the unit. Okay, it sounds incredible. I don't feel like you need to spend a ton of money on power cords when you have a STROMTANK unit. Okay, that does not mean that things will not sound a little better if you have aftermarket power cords plugged into the unit. Yes, but I do believe that you don't have to do this. You don't really need to embark on buying expensive power cords to improve the performance of your system if you have a STROMTANK device. Okay, this is why, again, this is why I represent the line, because I believe in what it does. It would not be in my lab if I did not think it does positive things for your system. Please let me know in the comment section underneath so that I know you guys want to continue to see more and more of this type of videos. Until the next time, stay tuned for more. Peace.